On the night of July 6th, 2012, a 16-year-old girl quietly climbed out of her bedroom window, believing she was about to spend the evening with her two closest friends. She left behind her phone charger, her wallet, and even her future. Within just a few hours, she would vanish without a trace. For months, her family searched desperately for answers, while the same two friends who knew exactly what had happened stood beside them, pretending to grieve. This is the heartbreaking story of Skylar Neese, a case that proved sometimes the greatest danger doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people you trust the most. Skylar Annette Neese was born on February 10, 1996, and lived with her parents, Dave and Mary Neese, in Star City, West Virginia. She was an only child, and by all accounts, a cheerful, intelligent teenager who loved reading, music, and spending time with friends. Like many high school students, Skylar had a small circle of close friends. Two of the people she trusted most were Skylar Neese and Rachel Shoaf. The three girls spent countless hours together, sharing secrets, taking photos, and posting on social media. To anyone looking from the outside, they seemed inseparable. But beneath the smiles, cracks had already started to appear. As the months passed, the friendships became increasingly complicated. There were arguments, jealousy, and periods where one friend would stop speaking to another. Friends later described the relationship between the three girls as unstable, with frequent drama that often played out through text messages and social media. Despite these problems, Skylar continued spending time with both girls. Then came the night that changed everything. Shortly before midnight on July 6, 2012, surveillance footage captured Skylar climbing out of her bedroom window. Her parents were asleep, and sneaking out wasn't completely unusual for her. She expected to return home before morning. Skylar Neese picked her up in a car driven by Rachel Shoaf. The three girls drove away into the darkness. That would be the last time Skylar was ever seen alive. When Skylar failed to return home, her parents immediately became worried. Her bedroom window was open, but many of her personal belongings had been left behind, including items she normally would have taken if she planned to run away. Police initially considered the possibility that she had left voluntarily, but her parents refused to believe it. They insisted that something terrible had happened to their daughter. Investigators interviewed Skylar's friends, including Skylar and Rachel. Both girls calmly told detectives they had dropped Skylar off near her home sometime during the early morning hours. There was no physical evidence contradicting their story. At least, not yet. As weeks turned into months, Skylar remained missing. Her parents appeared constantly in news interviews, pleading for information. Search teams covered forests, fields, and abandoned areas. Nothing. Meanwhile, Skylar Neese continued posting messages on Twitter that appeared to express sadness over Skylar's disappearance. She even wrote messages saying she missed her friend and wanted her to come home safely. To everyone watching, she looked like a grieving teenager. But investigators slowly began noticing inconsistencies. Cell phone records showed that the movements of the three girls during the night didn't completely match the story they had told police. The investigation continued, but without a body or a confession, proving what happened remained incredibly difficult. Months passed. Then, something unexpected happened. Rachel Shoaf began suffering from severe emotional distress. According to investigators, the weight of keeping the secret became unbearable. On January 3rd, 2013, Rachel broke down and confessed everything. She admitted that she and Skylar Neese had planned Skylar's murder in advance. Rachel led investigators to a remote wooded area in Greene County, Pennsylvania. There, hidden among the trees, investigators found Skylar's remains. The horrifying truth finally emerged. According to Rachel's confession and later court records, the three girls had driven to the isolated location under the pretense of going for a late night drive. Once they reached the woods, they got out of the car. At one point, Rachel and Sheila counted to 3. Then both attacked Skylar with kitchen knives they had brought specifically for the murder. Skylar tried desperately to defend herself and attempted to escape, but she was overwhelmed. The attack was brutal. After Skylar died, the 2 teenagers attempted to hide her body before driving back home. They disposed of evidence, cleaned themselves, and returned to their normal lives as though nothing had happened. For months, they attended school, spoke with investigators, comforted Skylar's family, and participated in the search efforts. The people responsible for the crime had been hiding in plain sight all along. When asked about the motive, Rachel later told investigators that they simply no longer wanted to be friends with Skylar. Many people struggled to understand how such a minor reason could lead to such unimaginable violence. Investigators also uncovered text messages and evidence showing that the murder had been discussed beforehand, proving it was not a spontaneous act, but a carefully planned killing. Rachel Shoaf eventually pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison, with eligibility for parole after serving the required minimum under state law. Sheila Eddy later pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and received a sentence of life in prison, with the possibility of parole after the minimum period required by law. Skylar's family finally had answers, but no verdict could erase their loss. In the years since the case, Skylar's parents have worked to honor their daughter's memory, while speaking publicly about the devastating impact violent crime has on families. The murder of Skylar Neese remains one of the most disturbing true crime cases in recent American history, because it shattered one simple belief that many people hold. We expect danger to come from strangers. Instead, Skylar's greatest danger came from the 2 people she trusted most. Her story is now remembered not only as a tragedy, but also as a reminder that appearances can be deeply misleading, and that even those closest to us may sometimes hide unimaginable secrets. After hearing every detail of this case, here's the question. Do you believe Rachel Shoaf confessed because she truly felt remorse, or because she realized the truth would eventually come out? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this true crime story, don't forget to subscribe for more real cases from around the world.